This man is wearing a Star Wars shirt, and yet he has not watched the Book of Boba Fett yet. Instead, he's watched Encanto 4 times. Welcome back, friends. Lost Sky Fan, it's time for the vlog. Sorry we didn't have vlog during Christmas or New Year's, but they were Christmas and New Year's. We're going to break the streak on the Y series so that we're going to do a top 10 list this time for the vlog. It's going to be vlogged in top 10. Why? Because 2021 had some games in it, but it wasn't that many games. There's some games from the past in this top 10 list, because the top 10 list is 2021, the games that I played that year, what were the top games? And so because of that, there's some games that are not from this year, from 2021 that are on here. And well, 2022 looks like it's going to be stronger though. You got Elden Ring, you got Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, Sonic Frontier, and Breath of the Wild 2 are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. And we're going to put all those on the main channel most likely, minus maybe Sonic. Depends on how good Sonic is. But the other three I want to put on the main channel. Other main channel things for the new year, The Greatest Return is going to keep going, and eventually Super Mario RPG or Final Fantasy VI. Like, that's still the plan from last year, it just hasn't happened yet. Jinx has a job now, so they're more busy, I'm busy, but hopefully eventually we'll find some balancing act where we can get just a lot of content out there. Also last year there wasn't a lot of top 10, there wasn't a lot of one-shots. I played still over 100, still 150 indie games, and there weren't that many good ones, which is very unfortunate. But there are 4 games that were good, but I found them in December, so they're going to get covered in the new year at some point. And hopefully 2022 will be a stronger year. The pandemic really just wrecked everybody, I still feel, with things. And hopefully it's just a better new year. As far as the vlog goes with the Y series, I already know what the next thing I want to say is. Just the holidays happened. Oh, real quick. Encanto. Encanto is a movie worth watching. If you got Disney Plus, you got no reason not to watch it, because come on. You have it, watch it. It's really good, better than Frozen. I will say it right now, better than Frozen. A lot of things are better than Frozen, though, but better than Frozen. I don't think any of the songs are going to hit the kids as hard as Frozen did, though, but for adults, there are songs that are going to hit the adults. Pressure, for sure, and of course, Bruno. Bruno's song is #1 on Spotify in the US right now, and 18 in the world. Like, it's pretty good. It's been stuck in my head for at least a week. I watched the movie twice. First watch, I'm like, yeah, it's like a 6, 7 out of 10. Second watching, you realize more details about the movie, 8 out of 10. The amount of details going on in this movie are incredible. Holy crap. Just amazing. On a lesser note, I also saw Ron's Gone Wrong, which is a much inferior movie, but it does have some heart to it, and was a very touching movie as well. Just not as good in craftsmanship or in storytelling. It's just a movie where the good parts of it make it a good movie, while the bad parts of it are, you ignore it as much as you can. There's some cringy-worthy stuff in Ron's Gone Wrong, but the kids love it. The kids love Ron's Gone Wrong, so maybe I'm just not in the right age bracket for it, but still not bad. Yeah, one more movie, of course, Spider-Man was really good. Okay, so, top 10. Honorable mentions first. Honorable mentions are... Oh, by the way, I gotta say, most disappointing game of 2021 for me was Bravely Default 2. Bravely Default 2 was the most disappointing game for me. Yeah, some people love that game. Really disappointing. Maybe it's nostalgia for Default and Second, but Bravely Default 2, most disappointing game 2021 for me. Just really was. Characters are fine, but that was all there was. Okay, so... Honorable mentions are... 3 multiplayer games of different kinds. They are Pokemon Unite, which is baby's first MOBA. That's where I'm going to put it. It's very cute. It's very fun. I burnt myself out on it because I decided to play ranked. I got myself to master, and I raged my way into master. I was just very angry, burnt myself out on it. They just ended Serena. There's a lot of cute characters to it, a lot of cute Pokemon, but I just got burnt out on it. Still recommend it. It's free after all. Pac-Man 99, another one. That's free, of course, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you need that part, of course. But very fun, very addicting game. I can play right now. It's very fun. I enjoy Pac-Man 99. Haven't won once. The music just keeps you going and amped. It's just fun. It's just a fun game. It makes me wish they kept Mario 35. Like, I don't know why they got rid of it. These Battle Royale versions of these old games are fun. I like them a lot. Tetris 99 is really fun. I just can't win ever at that. People are just too good at it. The other honorable mention is, the last honorable mention is EDF 5, Earth Defense Force 5. This is a very fun, no-brain game. You just don't need to think. Your brain doesn't exist. All you're doing is shooting bugs, and it's fun in that way. On your own, it can be therapeutic, just mowing things down. With a friend, it was me and Jinx. A lot over-the-top silliness, very fun. A little buggy, so it's not the best. But it's a fun, stupid game. This is one of those games where you turn your brain off, and you'll have fun. If you have your brain on, you'll have a little less fun. But it's still fun if you just mow things down. But it's more fun as a co-op game. And now entering the top 10, speaking of co-op games, Kingdom 2 Crowns, a game that did not come out this year, or 2021. If you're a fan of Kingdom and New Lands and have not played 2 Crowns, play new 2 Crowns, because, oh my god, it is really good. So, me and Jinx had different ways of this going. Jinx playing it for the first time, me having played the first one than this one. The level of discovery and excitement I felt playing this game is unparalleled. I just was like, oh my god, they changed this. Oh my god, there's new things going on here. And I just kept getting more and more excited. While Jinx was hating on how you have to just have things happen to learn how things go. And yeah, that's not the best way to learn a game. Because it's not necessarily you need to be spoon-fed, but just, you're wasting time just learning the mechanics because the game doesn't explain them to you. And it was a very fun game. We had fun playing it. And really, playing with 2 people really cuts down on the tedium of the game. Because the problem with Kingdoms is, you have to go defend the left, you gotta go defend the right, you gotta go defend the left, you gotta go defend the right, you gotta go grow both sides, and eventually, you spent an hour just doing that. And it doesn't feel all that rewarding. So with another person handling the other side, or both you handling one side together, because they added more offensive and defensive mounts, it became a very fun and rewarding game, and I was very happy with it. And I recommend the hell out of it. Number 9 is, would have been convenient this was 8, Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8, and it looks very good, and it starts out very strong and ends not the best, and I feel like that's every Resident Evil game ever. Like, you start out, you're like, okay, what the hell's going on here? What the hell, Chris is being a dick? And then the Lady Demetress stuff is really good, you get to meet all the big bads, and then the puppet area was very creepy. I think good job to that, because that bugged the hell out of me. Fish area, not bad. Magnet guy, Nicolas Cage, it starts to peter out around there, and then you get to the end game, like, I just want to be done with this already. Mercenary Modes was fun, though. And so, it's also a bit over the top, in not the best ways, in, like, corny ways, which isn't great. And by the end of it, I was like, well, that's done, and I'm gonna move on now. And I just think about it, that's every Resident Evil game. That's all of them. Like, you start out strong, and then you get to the end, you're like, I'm done with this. Glad we're finished. 1 and 2, not so much with that feeling. But definitely after that, I feel like just went downhill on that for me personally. And the more I think about it, the more I want to put this at number 10. Jeez. Okay. So, number 8 is The Forgotten City. So, The Forgotten City was a Skyrim mod. And then it was so good, they got to make their own game. They got funded for it and everything. And they made their own game. And this game actually won the Best Writing Award. So good for them with that. And it deserves it. The Forgotten City is Groundhog's Day. A person from the modern times ends up in a Roman city on the last day of that Roman city before they have an apocalypse. An apocalyptic event. And so you keep groundhogsing, trying to figure out what's going on, can you stop it, things like that. There's multiple endings, there's like a dozen plus characters, they're all interesting to different degrees, but they're all, I think, worth talking to. And the dialogue's not bad. And the voice acting isn't bad either. It's not like A-class, but it's pretty good. And going through all the mysteries and the puzzles of the game and figuring out what's going on and who knows what and things like that is very fun. It's a very fun game. Multiple endings. Getting to the complete ending, the 100% ending, was rewarding. It was satisfying. That's the reason why this game is on here, is because it is a satisfying game. It's not the best looking game, but it is a satisfying game. You get in on it, it's just fun to just get these discoveries. You discover things, there's twists, there's turns, you realize some things, you feel really smart, and also you just like, wow, that's a really surprising and smart twist right there. A smart turn right there. It's like the twists are not stupid twists for the sake of being twists. They make sense. And it's just that you did not have enough information, or you did not see it from the right perspective. And then you're like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, wow, okay. And it's really good in that way. Can't remember how much it's a $10 or $20 game, but it's also on the Xbox Game Pass. And quick advertising for Xbox Game Pass. I think it's like, what, $10 a month. So for the price of 2 AAA games, you can play a crap ton of really good games all year. And there's going to be plenty of $6 games in there. It might not be all the games you want, but there's going to be a lot of games in there. And it's just good value. And because of that, I played Forgotten City. I played some other games. There's some really good games on there that I haven't played yet. And some bad ones that are just on there. But I'm excited for just that Xbox Game Pass, because that gives more access to more games I can cover in the future. Recommend the hell of it. You play that game. It's really good. So number 7 is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. And this is all based on the multiplayer side of it. Me and Jinx had a real fun blast playing Super Mario 3D World online. They just did not have the ability to do online back when this game came out. And this shows how good this game is. Because getting to play it online now was really, really fun. The mayhem of it was great. And just the rewarding platforming of it, because Mario is solid platforming. And just trying to speed through levels, see how fast we could do it, or just how smart we could do it was really interesting. There's some tough levels in there. It was a very fun experience. It was a very good co-op experience. As a solo experience, it'd probably be lower, just because it's just platforming, I guess I'll say, but it was fun. Now, I did not play Bowser's Fury. Maybe it makes it even better, but I didn't play it. Number 6 is the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're still in the middle of it. We only played the first one, but the first one was very fun. The story's really fun. I'm enjoying it a lot, and we still have to do the second part of it. And, yeah, it's just the Ace Attorney series. It is everything good and everything bad, honestly, about the Ace Attorney series. And it's just fun. It's a very fun story, fun characters, and that's why I'm playing it, yeah. I like how, halfway point I'm going to explain this. These lists, every year I gotta explain this, is, what game do I want to play right now? If I put these against each other, what would I want to play over what game do I want to play? And that's how this is. And that's where the Great Ace Attorney is. Like, it's a fun game, I want to play it over these other ones. It was very fun, enjoyable, nice story, surprising story at times, but it also falls into the tropes of the Ace Attorney series that can get a bit tiresome. But for the most part, very fun. I can't wait to do the second part. Now you're going to notice we're hitting a lot of Nintendo all of a sudden. Number 5 is Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread was really fun. There are some design decisions I did not like, but for the most part, it is a solid 8 out of 10 game. The running and gunning is very good. The boss fights are fun. The final boss was a rewarding boss fight. I really enjoyed that boss fight. And as the conclusion to the story of this part of Metroid was really good. Samus was incredibly badass in this game. The way she acts, the way she moves, just the sass she has in the cutscenes. There's a lot of character to her. People are like, she needs to talk to have more character. She doesn't need to talk at all. Her character is shown in the way she moves and the way she acts, the way she assesses the situation. The more you watch a cutscene, the more you understand what she's doing, and the just more incredible it is, the more impressive it is. Running around and playing and just counter system was really good. The shine puzzles were interesting. I enjoyed doing those. I was never really frustrated with the game, but there were points with the design decisions where I'm like, yeah, that's not a good choice there. Actually, the robots chasing you got a bit annoying a little. The Emmys got a little annoying. Not too annoying, but they got a little annoying at points. And that can be not so fun. There is a fine line between oppressive and unfun, and they were getting there. But overall, Metroid Dread was pretty fun, and I'm happy I played it. Number 4 is Monster Hunter Rise, which is really nice. So they're building on an interesting idea here. So there's going to be 2 Monster Hunters now. There's going to be World and then Not World. So Rise is Not World. But it took some ideas from World and also some new ideas of their own and made their own thing, which is pretty interesting. Because this is more based on like the double X side of things, well then World's its own thing. And so you have these ideas mixed together in this one, and Rise is a pretty fun game. I really like the idea of these tower defenses. Like, I found them very interesting and fun, and sometimes they were pretty harrowing, and it was just pressure, and it was fun to have that pressure in a Monster Hunter game. It was interesting. Also, just, you like the villagers. Like, the villagers are cool characters. Not cool characters. They're charming characters. I don't think any of them are cool, actually. Well, okay, the leader's cool. And having them there on the field when you do the fight, the tower defense fights, is fun. Like, what is it? The shop girl having a freaking minigun is hilarious. That's fun to see. Having the chief whip out his big old sword is fun to see. And it's just a fun game. And I like that you have all these different pets this time. So you have an owl, you got a dog, and you have a cat. We can have 2 dogs, or we can have 2 cats. Like, it's a nice mix of things. Like, do you want to have 2 helpers, or do you want to have a mount and a helper? And really, I feel like doing both those, because then you can run around. Oh, well, that's in single player. And in 2-player, of course, or in co-oping, you each only get to have one thing. I played this with Jinx, and I really preferred having the cat. But the dog was really nice, just getting around really fast was very nice to have there. The only real ding to the game, because Monster Hunter games are very good games, the only ding to it is the story's not complete. That's the only ding to it. It's not done. We're going to get more DLC for it this year, and that's going to be great. It's a very enjoyable experience, very satisfying experience. It's always fun hunting monsters in Monster Hunter games. And the formula has just still gotten better. Just the hook system is pretty fun to play with, too. And it allows people to be in the air. That's probably the best thing about the hook system, is it allows a lot more characters to be in the air instead of just the insect glaive. Number 3 is Hitman 3. Hitman 3 is really good. It is the end of a trilogy. It is the culmination of every game up to that point. All the lessons learned, all the things that were done well, they improved on them and added even more bells and whistles to Hitman 3. I love the Hitman 3 series. I've played every single one of them. And I really, really enjoyed the culmination of it all here. It is like that whole, just the saying, the fine wine. It has aged very well, this series. It is very smooth. It is very robust. It is very well done. I really enjoyed Hitman 3. It's nice to see how this story concludes. And it just feels good. You can kill people in so many creative ways. And the story itself, it's an interesting mess. Not necessarily a mess, but just intrigue mess that it is. And the story's never been the strongest point of the thing. It's just there to convey you to the next interesting mission. And I just like how they've added these kind of like, you get to learn things about characters with these, what are they called, their moments, or what they're called. I forget what they're called right now. And it's very interesting to do it that way, instead of just running around and just doing stuff. Now there's character bits that can do some fun things. The variety of ways you can kill people, of course, is hilarious. You've got the vineyard, where you could freeze someone to death, suffocate them. You can crush them with a freaking grape press. You can smash them with the grape grinders. Oh my god, the variety of ways you can take people out in just that map. Hitman 3 is just great. It's a great culmination, and they keep giving you more content with the one chance only assassinations of just these random characters they add to it. Then the increasing difficulty levels. There's a lot to do there. If you only have one game, Hitman 3 is a very fun one that you can play. And it's just a smooth ride. It's very fun. I like it a lot. Number 2 is also very smooth, and also a culmination of things. This is from Hazelight. It Takes Two. It deserves winning Game of the Year at the Game Awards. It is a very good game. This is probably the best platformer of 2021. Very solid platformer. And I kept joking, like, this is the best Sonic game I've played in a long time. Because it does a lot of the Sonic things with Sonic 3D, where you're running around, there's rails. And the platform was good. The co-op stuff was very fun. Hazelight is about co-op. This is the guy who made Two Sons. This is the guy who made A Way Out. And now here we have here with It Takes Two. The story itself is interesting. The characters are also interesting, and the things they deal with. The ending, I think, was a bit abrupt, but it's because it's such a big game. There is a lot going on here, and something to appreciate about this game is the amount of work that went into it. They added like 25 mini-games to this game just cause. So you have interaction between the two characters, and seeing how competitive they are. You see just who these characters are as you play through the game with the two of them, and just see who they are to each other. And just the cooperative bits were very clever and interesting. And it was just impressive how much went into this game. They just kept adding more and more and more into this game. There were so many little details that didn't need to be there. So many Easter eggs that didn't need to be there, but they're there. And they just add to the charm of the game and just make it a better game. In a world where things only get added for DLC, it's very nice to have this game where they just added things because they wanted to just make this world more alive, make this a more fun experience. It Takes Two was a very fun ride, a very rewarding ride. A very rewarding ride. And it was fun playing it with Jinx. Also not fun playing with Jinx at times, because Jinx can be a real jerk. You know what you did. Yeah, It Takes Two was really good. What beat It Takes Two? a game that takes one. No, you play co-op and that kind of. Number one is a game that wasn't out this year, but it got its final cut this year in 2021. That is Disco Elysium: The Final Cut. Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is number one because of what it did on a personal scale and what it did on an entertainment scale. Disco Elysium is a choose-your-own-adventure kind of game. You're running around, all you do is talk. All you do is talk. But it's fully read out, by the way, by very good voice at work. And I spent 80 plus hours on this game. And there were a lot of rewarding moments, a lot of crazy moments, a lot of fun moments, a lot of moments that tear into your soul a little bit. There were moments that really got to me that either made me cry sad or cry from laughing. There were some incredible moments. And it's a game where it's okay to fail. Like, succeeding and failing will lead to different interesting outcomes. There's a lot going on in this game. Near the end of the game, there's actually 3 different moments near the end of the game, really, that touched me in very different ways. Earlier in the game, there's all those parts that touch you. It felt like it touched every emotion. There were points that made me feel sorrow and made me feel a deep sadness and a depression and a great elation and a feel of triumph, a feel of happiness. There were so many emotions that came from this game. And that was just like, oh my god, that was so dumb situations. Or that was ridiculous. Or just thinking on things. And this game does not shy away from a lot of ideas. It goes over different, ideas of government, different ideas of just racism and misogyny and feminism and just all these different things. There's so much going on in this game, and you can run it a lot of different ways. You can play as a very racist cop. You can play as a very misogynistic cop, or a feminist, or someone who believes in equality, or a very hard-ass character, or a very cerebral character. There's so many different ways you can play the game. In the end, I was a sorry, I think, liberal, I forget the other things, because there's politics in there, but there's also how you treat people in there, and I sobered up my character. There's a lot of things that happen in there. What's great is, about your character is there's these different voices in his head. There's 20 plus voices in his head. And it was very interesting, because it really felt like, this kind of really is the human body, where his addiction's talking to him. His sense of duty is talking to him. His sense of intelligence, his sense of understanding the world is talking to him. Because all your different emotions are talking to you in this game. And it's when you're hungry, your body's saying something to you. When you feel pain, your body's saying something to you. And it was very interesting in that way. And I think I felt like every emotion with this game. I know I felt anger and rage at times too. There's so much going on with it. I felt a great sense of awe at one point in this game. I was like, there's something very magical about this game with that great sense of awe. There's points where just so much just getting really hyped in this game. There's a moment where you get really, really hyped. You're like, oh my god, that's so crazy, that's so much fun. And there was a point that was also very therapeutic. Probably puts it number one as well for this reason as well, is because it helped me deal with some shit. It really helped me think about some things with my life. And some regrets, some issues that I had with my life. And it helped me deal with them. On an emotional level, it helped me deal with some things that I just could not get over. And I finally got over them thanks to this game. Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is a very fun ride. And it is a very rewarding ride. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I got to experience it. I totally didn't care about this game for the longest time, and then the Final Cut comes, I'm like, alright, fine, I'll check it out. And it was an amazing ride. I think the top 10 games that I did play this year were very entertaining in different ways and satisfying in different ways. The most satisfying games were Disco Elysium, It Takes Two, Hitman 3, Forgotten City. Those were probably the most satisfying ones. The ones that really touched my excitement was Disco Elysium, It Takes Two, Hitman 3, Monster Hunter Rise, Metroid Dread, and Two Crowns. I think Kingdom Two Crowns really touched a lot of excitement for me. It was an interesting year. It really was an interesting year of games. And there was some good stuff, like Chivalry 2, that was good. MechWarrior 5 was entertaining. They didn't really last for me, but they were entertaining games. Portal Reloaded was an interesting mod. That was pretty fun. And it was just a good time. It was a very good time. And it was not a bad year. I think 2022 is going to be an amazing year from what I can tell. So that right there is the vlog and the top 10. I had fun. Hope you're watching. What was your top 10? Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.